kind of sink your teeth in visually.
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to get into the action in just a little bit, so you'll see it hop into the screen. And there you go, right there, right into the glorious tabletop screen. I love this so much. But we had a chance to speak with Travis from Razer. All the players are using Razer keyboards and mice here. They're also using the Xbox One controller as well. And yeah, it's really really cool to see just everyone really digging the equipment that they're using. Headsets provided by Astro.
Let's take a look at this tank, this first-person view or third-person view right now. Just
perfect example of the ballers. You got to push the button, buddy. That's all you need to do. Just push the button.
Let's see here. We've got this tank right now in our picture-in-picture right now, who's been spotted on the other side.
Oh,
there he goes, trying to be able to take him down. Of course, what's happened. So now you see how the bollards retract because it's on the other side or the green side. You also have a engineer right now trying to lay it on thick there with the repair tool. He's going to get taken down. Now back over here towards another player. That's going to be Alpha 29. As that tank is going to bounce back. But one of the things, again, the way that that bollard control works is it's just a quick little button press, and it will continue to retract. Look at that, nice little understanding of the environment already, and just slides right onto the underneath, and just trying to take a look and see if he can see the tank right there.
Yep, and you know, if he comes below the tank, and he has no attachments on his gun, actually he just has the standard barrel, everything. So I wonder why he opted to not include any attachments on his weapon there. But at the very least, you know, they are going to be able to get behind enemy lines, but they need to be careful because there is a sea of orange arrows right over there. They do find one player, 29, trying to go for the shots. He's going to have some support, and they take him down. So here you go, the push happening by Alpha Squad.
All right, as we hop into the first-person view now. Take a look, he's just spraying away right now.
Yeah, there's only going to be one player around there, actually.
That's right there to his right. Saw it in his field of view. Looks like he's going to continue to press up here. Spots another one there.
And they're definitely going to run into this player right here.
Fire, iron sights back. He's going to spot another one. He can just pick up some kills, a lot of kills right now. Doesn't finish off that player. Takes down one. I think another player took out the other one. And he's going to get shot in his backside.
Yeah, he gets cleaned up. When we look at the leaderboard, Alpha 29, who was just taken out there. Actually, it's jump.
Let's go. If we can, I'll explain with Bravo 9.
Let's go to Bravo 9. That sounds like a great idea.
7-1 right now. And for those of you at home that are kind of curious, he's going to be shooting at all of the blue icons at this point since he's on the Chinese team. So he's going to be shooting at the blue icons. He's been playing extremely well so far, sitting at 7-1 right now. He's going to looks like his teammates have told him that he needs to be attacking over here now towards the C flag. He is definitely listening to a T because he was going to try to start running through a wall.
Yeah, it's like, well.
So through the department store, back through the wall, right? Just do I blow up a hole?
Yeah, right. Well, he wants to defend B. But yeah, so he will continue to advance on forward here, and that was actually really funny. Like, I'm just gonna shoot the wall, probably kick it down. That sounds like a good idea. Finding a player right in front of him, that is gonna be Alpha 13. He is gonna get taken out. It was actually a nice pickup because he's gonna prevent anyone. Ooh, look at this. He's not even aware. There's two. It's like they just broke off from each other. Oh man, this is not gonna be good. He managed to take out one. Can he get the second as well?
Great control of the recoil.
Yeah. As he looks around the side here, he has that, and oh no! But you can see though, he's at 13 health. By the way, that was so close for comfort. Corey.
I'm gonna go hide over here in the debris because that even took out the opponent I was going after. But again, so this is what we've seen so far from Bravo 9. I think he's probably sitting at 9-1 right now. We can hop into a third-person view and actually take advantage of the spectator mode. And you can see he is sitting at 9-1. As you take a look at the bottom side of your screen, at the bottom portion of your screen, with that lower third, it says 9-1.
Yeah, and you can see his attachments there on his M9. He has the Ghost Ring as well as the Laser Light combo and a suppressor to boot. So three attachments on his gun at this point in time. So really cool stuff, especially if you know, you guys are like, huh, well, he has all these attachments on his gun. Well, yeah, now you can include attachments on your secondary. So that is the new stuff that is coming for Battlefield 4. Yeah,
Bravo 9 is a one-man army. He was able to not only hold down the B flag, but he also was able to retake it after having to combat with 3 players down here in Metro.
He owns this area. It's him. This is Bravo 9 territory. but he's going to have to be careful because there could be some. And there's a tank right there, and
there's
M1
a tank.
Abrams. What is he going to do?
Chasing it down, needs to be worried about his, see if he's going to be able to come back around. He spots one, then he'll hop directly out of the tank. He actually can take this tank if he wants it. It's completely all his if he needs it, as he's going to go ahead and continue trying to run away. He's going to get taken down. I think it would have been smart if he would just hop directly into the tank.
I agree with you on that one. That, you know, really could have helped him out, saved his skin a little bit. That player did not have C4 to stop him, so I don't see why not. But you know, it is what it is. So, in looking here now, just so many players from the Chinese team circling around C.
Yeah. So look, if we kind of take an idea of what's happening right now, E is trying to be taken over by one member from the U.S. Over towards D, D is completely clear right now. Over there towards C, you have players from the Chinese trying to take control there. They're going to start to work their way up through the elevator to get up on that top side, because that's where a couple of the members from the U.S. squad are. And look like we might see a lot more action, though, happen towards B.
Yeah, they have air. They have something in the sky. You know, a bird in the sky. The Chinese team has it, as well as some amphibious vehicles. But we're going to be looking here at Alpha 20 because this is the area that Bravo 9 was holding down with such vigor, and he seems to have abandoned his position. Perhaps no, that was actually going to be Bravo 9 taking him out. So what do you know? In any case, though, Alpha 28 on your screen.
My house.
Yeah, right. Just denied. Yeah, so Alpha 28 on your screen at this point in time. Let's go into third person and see what Alpha 28 is using. He's using a muzzle brake, splinter, urban camo, as well as a vertical grip, and he has that CZ805. So very, very cool equipment there for Alpha 28.
And he's on the flank right now. He spots one's going to be coming around. He's actually letting his teammate fight that one, fight the good fight. He's going to join with this tank as they're going to move across the bridge. Spotted one. And one of the things for those that don't really play, have never played Battlefield, haven't got the chance, spotting is a huge component in the strategy for Battlefield in all seriousness. So right now, which is one of the things you want to do, if you can't make a shot and you spot someone across the map, go ahead and state that you've spotted someone. Over on the Bravo side, again, he's going to be shooting at some blue players. As we kind of scan around, Alpha 04 is at 9-1.
Let's go back to our friend Bravo 9. I want to see what's up with Bravo 9. That's the, you know, he obviously has been.
Oh, he's got a good little placement right now. It looks like possibly a helicopter has spotted him.
He is always in trouble, I swear.
Dropping both a health pack and a health bag.
Lugging that grenade across, might be able to pick off one or two players there, but there's no one on C right now, so at the very least he's able to
these are his teammates, for those that are kind of wondering why he's not shooting at the orange.
Exactly. And you know, of course, we always want to make sure that you guys are aware of that, because, you know, Battlefield players are used to seeing a specific thing, and you know, it makes a complete sense. And here goes Bravo 9, like the baller he is, jumping off of a building, parachuting. Might make it on the roof.
Hey, better watch your boundaries. You're about to cross. Uh-oh, turn around.
Oh,
it's counting down, and he's going to be able to stay alive, and he just kind of circles around into a nice little position. Now he's going to try to see if he can regroup with his teammates here. That's one of his squad members there.
Oh, man, but look at this here. Tank.
Tank. And he's down.
Yeah, Bravo 9 can't even fight a tank, so, you know, you got to give him credit, but it wasn't enough. And here goes that Type 99 MBT there, the Chinese tank for the Bravo squad, going up against the two M1 Abrams that are going to be across the bridge here. And oh no, he's going to have to backpedal on this one. I don't know if this is going to look good. He does manage to nail a shot on him. He is going to lose some armor on that one, about 21 points, and he's going to get hit some more. This is certainly not looking good, as he's going to have to double back here inside of the territory, but they are going to continue to apply the pressure, and that is going to do it here. 19 armor, 2 tanks in front of him. I think this is going to be curtains here for Bravo 7. He's staying alive, though, like the BGs. Don't know how he's doing it, but there you go. He is finally taken out.
He could have exited at some point, because I believe that typically you're exiting through the backside. Oh, roadkill! Jumps over the barrier, and you're probably going, well, all I see is an overview, but if you look over on your left side, there's a picture-in-picture, and man, that vehicle just trying to jump barriers, and lands right on top of the player that we're getting his point of view from.
Let's actually see that free cam. Go ahead, click on that free cam there, spectator man. There you go. All right, so the building, by the way, has not crashed just yet. It is still very much up. And yeah, this is quite the angle that we're getting here as we kind of fly around this map and see where the action is heading. There's a bunch of Chinese players here that are walking the sidewalk casually, making their way to work, and work is murder. Right? That sounded good? No? A little dark? Okay, I'm sorry about that. Work is destruction and war. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
There's an objective involved, and that is their job.
And you know, which I think is actually pretty funny that the skyscraper is not crashed down just yet. I guess these players are now kind of thinking
if we can,
meta.
let's take a look at some of the key points of where these pillars are down at the base. So you see how big of a building this is, and
Never
it
mind.
actually is falling.
And there you see one player.
Oh, I'm gonna parachute into it. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Stay alive. Oh man! Here comes
Well,
the
look at all the
building.
people that are down there in the front, though. I don't see your life lasting too much longer.
Yeah.
There's a building falling on top of you.
And there it is.
Oh, and there he
you
goes. And there's a big old wave that's going to push out to the battleships out there.
Yep, oh, man.
That would have been a good surf.
Yeah, that would have been a good surf. I agree with you on
It'd be
that
fun
one.
to be in a jet ski and just kind of push you along,
Yeah.
push you
That
out
would
of
be
bounds.
cool.
I'd be okay with that.
That would be really cool. Actually, I wouldn't have an issue with that by any means. You know, even if they put like Battlefield surfboards, I think I'll be okay with that as well.
Battlefield surfboards?
Battlefield with like some M16 just like strapped to the
Everybody has a boogie board.
Everyone has a boogie board of death. I don't see why not. Oh man, that'd be so cool. But there you can see the destruction, and also, as we said many times before, the visibility is now different here. It is much dustier, which is kind of
Let's go ahead and
troublesome
switch
for the
perspectives here.
yeah, kind of troublesome for pilots. But where's
14 and 4 is Alpha 04.
Alpha 04?
Alpha 04 is 14 and 4. So he's playing extremely well.
Yeah, I wonder what he is doing. We'll go ahead and jump on board with him after Bravo 06 here, or Bravo 05, excuse me, has his fun. And remember, guys, he's not going to be shooting after the red people, only blue. And yeah, speaking of blue, there's a tank right in front of him. Don't want to shoot that guy.
All right, laying down some gunfire there. He's going to get taken out. Let's go ahead and hold the scoreboard. There's Alpha 04 at 15 and 4. Alpha 04, third player from the top on the Alpha. There we go.
Awesome. And yeah, so what is he doing so right? He is playing infantry. Lots of players surrounding him, though. Him and his teammates are trying to stay alive. And look at this, another elevator.
Yep, there's not only just inside the skyscraper, there's elevators in other buildings as well. And you're finding out, we're seeing some, again, pre-alpha stages where the ammo boxes were falling. But here we are, so they're going to get up on the high ground. So you don't have to parachute everywhere. I think everybody's sitting there thinking, man, I remember when, think about this, there's going to be a point in time whenever people are going to be so deep into Battlefield 4. I remember whenever I have to parachute up on top of those buildings. Now you just take the elevator.
There was a time where, oh God, what are we doing with our lives right now? We're not old.
This is going to be sick.
No, pop it. Oh,
Nice. That's how you do that.
No, that is not how you do that.
Yeah,
by
that's
any
how you
means.
do that.
Stay alive.
He's still alive.
Don't play with that. That's scary.
He may have world spawned.
All right, well, you're going to see some tanks actually making their way across the sea bridge right now, but a helicopter is going to be on the prowl right behind them, and there is also a tank by D as well. Let's go ahead and see what's up with this helicopter as we dive into the third-person perspective, or first-person, either or.
They're all good.
They're all good, baby. All good. And, yeah, just good I was going to say good control until you hit the ground, but...
Yeah, I usually wait about 10 seconds to see if they're a good pilot or not.
Yeah. Okay, good call. I will not do that from now on. Lots of
Maybe it
players
was evasive maneuvers.
Evasive maneuvers.
Yep, avoid your teammates.
No! Hit the ground, evasive maneuvers.
Skip like a rock.
Oh, man, and the helicopter is going to be dangling over, but he is
14-10.
He's done. Jump out, man. Jump out,
No,
bro.
land it. Repair yourself.
All he has to do is just jump out. That would be the most effective thing to do.
Nice play. Okay, great control. You called it early, so he did a good job.
And he's staying alive here. Oh, man. This is insane, and somehow he is still alive. He is being repaired little by little. Is he going to get taken out?
No, that's not going to work.
Yeah, we've been following that guy for a while there. It was inevitable.
He fought it, though.
He did.
He was committed to staying alive.
He certainly did. Score right now, 586 in favor of the CN squad versus the US squad, 309. And looking here at Alpha 31, take him out. You got him. That's one in the chamber there. Good stuff. And now, or one
right there to the right side. Yeah,
that's right.
Oh, look out, close.
Whoa.
Oh, he gets taken out. Not in time for a
swing.
counterattack.
Alpha 08.
All right,
Look at the activity by B, Corey.
So we got a Tomahawk coming in over there towards the C. That's not going to be in time. So Alpha, this is Alpha 29, who's sitting at 12-1. He at least has 12 kills. He may have more deaths than that.
So many CN players are going to be surrounding them here. And there's a tank too, which is underground.
Go ahead, fall in. Let's go ahead and do some work now. Coming around, he's going all out with the pistol and misses the majority of his shots. So we're going to have a second look at this as we're back over here now with Alpha 11.
There is a tank underground. All right.
And he goes down as well.
Yeah, he gets dropped. There will be Alpha 12 finding one right in front of him, trying to.
Everyone's out of ammo. Needs some support.
That's right. Yeah, you have to have a well balance of classes here. 30 is going to be the last one left alive in his squad as he is off to spawn. Should be picking up his teammates at the very least. And you can see though that they're going to be pushing up through this main street by AB and advancing their way over to B. Lots of tank control for Alpha, but there is also 2 tanks for the CN squad as well.
Yeah, again, this is the pre-alpha version of Battlefield 4. And so we're seeing right now they're going to start to attack over here towards a residential area. Here's some some footsteps heading over there towards the ramp. Spots 2. They're up on top. Can they be able to finish things off? Lofting a grenade over the top. A little bit of a overtoss as wrapping in, going straight forward, and they kill each other right there at that last point. They both go bloop.
Yeah, that's right. There's a straight collapse here, but there are going to be 3 players, and they know that this flag is going to be taken here by the U.S. soldiers. So how are they going to respond is the question. And lots of, I'm hoping that they push us here, but it seems to be they're more focused on what's going on in the street in front of them, which if we take a left here, I'm curious what is going on the other side of the street.
Oh, you're going to get away from the residential area? All right, let's go ahead and do it.
Let's do it. Let's see what's up with the CN guys. Tanks now moving in here.
Oh, they're coming for. No, we need to go back to A. That's where the action's happening. We're gonna start chasing for those kills.
Yeah, that's right. Find.
See, you got your good sense of blue right there,
Ooh.
and you got some helicopter work that's happening. He's gonna try to wall ride. It turns out it's not a good idea.
Yeah, wall riding with a helicopter, never a good idea. It's just never. All right, and Alpha 30 is going to get picked off. So now the CN guys are going to reclaim this flag once again as they have control. But
we got one lone gunman who's trying to get on by. He spots one.
One man.
Able to spray him down.
One desire.
One opportunity to seize everything. Oh, no, he has another one.
And now, he is going to get picked off here.
It's a battle between these two. Look out for your flank. He's coming on his backside, and just like that, 1 for 1. That's how you play a competitive match, is you go 1 for 1. That's your main objective. If you get taken out, at least your teammate is able to answer the call.
Yep, and one player from the Alpha squad is going to push his way upstairs here. No one else in the area, so he might be able to flip this flag and get the control. Let's see what's going on with the score. Let's hop into tabletop and see what's going on here. It is going to be 195 to 466. The CN are dominating this game. They are flipping a lot of the flags here, and this is not looking good for the U.S. squad.
All right, right now it looks like the Chinese are trying to take over the C flag point right now. B flag point is also being taken there by the tank. And so far, I mean, it's just been, they're just trying to flip the script now, trying to take over all of these points all at once. But I think going to be a good point to talk about is what happens at C. Let's go and hop on board right now at C point. There's one other member who's out there on a jet ski just waiting, or probably trying to figure out how to hop off.
Yeah, and Alpha 20 lingering by C. There's one, like you said, there's actually 2 players, or 1 now because that player ended up getting taken out on that one. And he might end up getting flanked here if he's not careful. He tries to go for the repair. That player clearly sees him. He might get hit, and he does.
Dog tags. Can he counter?
No. He is done. That is the end of that one. So now the A flag is flipping. As Alpha 14 is going to go and support his teammate here. They're going to try and get control of the residential area, but the Tomahawk is going to be coming down, Corey. If they don't flip it in time, they don't know that the Tomahawk is landing as well.
Uh-oh. Let's go ahead and get the point of view here as it's going to be raining in.
Oh,
3, 2, 1 falls in, and there goes one. And one other, there's another player that goes down. That clears out a good chunk of the area. Again, break it down for me. What exactly happened from beginning to end?
Well, I mean, pretty much, you know, that Tomahawk, they knew that it was coming down on that on A, and they had to move around. They heard it, they knew it, and I really do like it, but they flipped it. Never mind.
But how did they get the Tomahawk in the first place?
Oh well, you know. Actually, good point there, Corey. So basically, whenever you get control of a flag, certain flags give you certain perks, gives the commander certain perks. And in that instance there, when you hold down B, C, as well as D, you also get some UAV, you get the Tomahawk, as well as the gunship when you hold down C. So lots of perks there for the commander. And that's actually one of my favorite things about commander and how players can affect that particular game mode.
All right, so now we're back over here from 114 to 425. The Chinese side, the Bravo team so far has in great control right now. This map is so even. It's perfect. It's the way that you want things to be. The only things that I think, and honestly, this is diving down deep, is just how close the A flag is to the U.S. spawn and the E flag is to the Chinese spawn. And the reason being is because you have tanks and different types of vehicles that are so close to those spawns, those areas, you can get to them rather quickly. There is a big plus, though, in comparison to some of the old maps that we used to see. All of these buildings that are kind of in the way, so it takes a little bit longer. I've kind of learned that in Los Angeles here at E3. You know, I was like, man, it takes, it's 10 miles. But it takes 30 minutes to get there? Well, I guess that's probably the same type of concept right here.
Yeah, right. It's short yet far, right?
Yeah, exactly. Short yet far.
Yeah, I guess the thing to bring up here. And looking at some of the gameplay, Alpha 23 and that Viper is going to be circling around this bridge, trying to get some angles as best as he can, knowing that there's going to be a tank at the bottom. I wonder if he is going to go and try and
doesn't need to get too low.
Yeah, he has to be careful about that.
Well, what reason? Oh, man.
That's unfortunate. Man, every time I see a helicopter explode, I'm just like, well, that's unfortunate. It's sad.
Like, well, the reason why I said he can't get too low is because you don't want to get into the angle. Oh, we're about to see it. We're about to see another helicopter just...
A helicopter that wanted a second life as a truck. Something like that, is what we've been seeing here today in this game. But Alpha 24 having to dive back here, double back and support his teammates that are trying to rally the troops forward to the A site, but that is going to do it for that game. Not able to overcome as that. The CN squad, they dominate that game. I really liked what I saw from both teams, but got to tip my hat to CN.
Yeah, so that's some great gameplay that we just had the chance to see there for Battlefield 4. But let's see what's going on outside of our little bubble. Let's go ahead and take a look at what Lisa has been able to kind of get us updated on. We're into it.
Yeah,
again, just one of the things that we've had the chance to kind of talk about every single thing that we could possibly think of, what all the speculation was, and so yeah, just keep posting out there on Reddit. It's subreddit there is going to be Battlefield, and also on Twitter that's hashtag BF4. And also on Facebook, facebook.com/Battlefield.
That's right. And guys, of course, go on the chat, right? If you're watching on Twitch TV, yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys are talking about all the things that you're watching here today. Of course, pre-alpha footage is what you're looking at here of Battlefield 4 as we take a look at the tabletop perspective. One of my favorite angles as we see some players getting the control. The first portion of this game is going to be a little slow, but this is actually something we have not seen before, which is the start of a game and how everyone is moving. You can see some tanks actually making their way through that main street, while on the other side they do have a tank, but it seems to be more focused on taking that route right through that.
I think it's probably
water.
Taking out the pillars right now.
That could be.
The very first thing, so that tank right there,
let's see.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing.
Taking out the pillars. I mean, it makes sense.
The very first thing that it's doing is trying to take out the pillars.
Yeah, they probably don't want to have to deal with fighting up top on C. So then you can see it's actually going to be coming down any second now. So that is going to happen. But there is going to be a tank there across the way, and they're going to be running into one of the trucks here. But Alpha 22 inside of that tank, charging through. This is certainly going to be interesting here because I don't think that tank is aware of what's going on. And there's UAVs circling around as well. They are looking very, very good. And here comes a Tomahawk now for the Alpha squad as they rain down destruction by that D flag. You can see the Tomahawk. This could cause a lot of problems. And it does manage to pick up maybe 1 or 2 people. No, it actually gets about 1 or 2. So yeah, you are right. I'm right about that one. But yeah, so looking here, Alpha 22 now on the charge with that tank.
So they haven't taken down the skyscraper yet. We just noticed that they was probably able to cause quite a bit of damage right off the bat. But as we're here with Alpha 22, he's trying to clean up shop here over there towards the arcade. Of course, if they are able to take this point, that will give the commander the capability of using the infantry scan. So again, he's being fired upon here. Still has full health right now. Hasn't been entirely contested yet by the proper armory so far.
Yeah, and that one player there is not going to allow that tank to be able to get control of D. So that guy needs to stay alive as long as he can until some more units move in. And oh man, look at here. You can see that rockets flying everywhere. That ended so fast. Back on board with Alpha 21 here as the skyscraper not down yet, as you had pointed out before, Corey, but it certainly is on its way to doing so. That AK-5C in hand, looking to do some damage.
All right, so see, just kind of pushing up. Take a look at the tabletop, see where exactly where he needs to go. A lot of the action's probably about to happen over there towards C. But right now, again, kind of spread throughout the map. You can see that A and B aren't going to be contested, nor will D and E. The main battle will probably happen here towards C. But parachuting in. This is I would have been so much more of a fan if he landed on the roof. He could have attacked from the high ground. And so right now he lands on the awning right there. And I think he landed right next to one of the players on the other team from Bravo team.
Oh man, so yeah, and you know what too though, we do have to of course talk about how all the moving parts of Battlefield works. You know, most importantly, one of my favorite things, the commander mode. And let's actually take a look at that, where the players are actually playing in the commander station. You can see it right there, all those screens, 8 screens there giving you information on who is doing what. And Lisa is actually up there as well. So we just saw Lisa in a video earlier. But yeah, you can see the DICE guys, you know, prepping that commander station, assisting the players there on the field. But yeah, man, that is just such a cool setup. I really want that in my home.
Yeah, so you can see right there, you kind of giving a little bit more intel about the game. You can see that this player was able to drop a C4 and pick it back up, similar to other versions that we've seen so far.
This Tomahawk is going to cause a lot of problems here for these CN players.
If they don't move, that tank is under, needs to look out. Here comes the Tomahawk. It's taking some time. And finally, it's almost there. It's diving down. Oh. And it looks like they will be able to get at least 1 player, and that was it.
Wow, only 1 player. That's pretty shocking considering that there was just such a cluster, but that shows that timing is everything with those Tomahawks, Corey.
Yeah, again, that was called in by the commander.
That's right.
So now we're here with Alpha 12. He's got a group of players that are with him as well from his team. Basically, right now, all they really need to worry about is over there. I think the building is starting to fall.
It seems that way. It seems like
it's got a little tilt going to it.
Yeah, not fully though, but at the very least, and there it is. I think that is going to be the part where it starts tilting. But yeah, so it seems as if they have full control of C, which is very good. I wonder what the CN squad is going to do at this point in time, because they know. And actually, yeah, here comes. I think it is going to tilt.
No. So one of the things that that needs to be noted, the main key point to knowing whenever the skyscraper is falling while you're inside is hearing the alarms going off.
That is true.
We haven't heard any alarms going off. It's just maybe I have vertigo.
That could be, Corey. That could be.
The realism is just insane.
And yeah, so that Viper was going to be lingering around the building here, trying to put some shots inside, but all the players. Oh, wait a minute. Viper ended up just.
I'm gonna bail. So the oh no! I think he was trying to steal that helicopter, and that player just went straight through the ground.
That is unfortunate.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, helicopter.
Oh wow! Just like that.
I don't even know what took out that helicopter. I have no idea, but there is going to be some tomahawks raining down.
Oh no! I was watching inside of the picture-in-picture, and a player was walking his way up the side of the building, and just on the other side, well, there's basically a cliff, and he fell to his death.
Unfortunate. But yeah, so there is going to be a tank battle going on in the street there. You can actually see a tank moving up, but oh, just like that, there's a truck now, and Alpha 08 has to consider, well, do I want to put, or Alpha 5 has to consider, do I want to push this? I don't know if that's going to be a smart idea. And he's going to throw a grenade at his teammate. Oh, okay. I mean, it makes sense. But
just learning the keys.
Yeah, you know, probably learning the keys. I shouldn't be too hard on him, Corey. You're right about that. You're the wise one. You hear this guy's voice? Seriously, it's like imagine an ebook.
Imagine an ebook.
Imagine you reading an ebook.
Pop it in an old cassette into your truck while you're cruising down the road with your windows down, listening to an ebook.
There you see, look at that right there. That is exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so Alpha 05 in this MRAP here.
Bullard.
Can't go up by the Bullard, guys, because of the fact that it is red on that side.
I think you should try to ram it again.
Yeah, why not? Oh, man. The best was, I think it was, oh, that rocket was too close for comfort on that one. The best was when the tank was, when two tanks pushed on the Bullard, and they were just like,
trying to go down, go
down.
Why
is this not going down? This is so frustrating.
This Recon class, of course, he's going to be the one that has C4, or has the capability of getting C4. He's going to get taken down. Now back over here to Alpha 03.
Yep, and he will be making his way right up through this through the side here, this side catwalk. And
good job taking advantage of
taking her time.
Well, he's able to spot over the top, only exposing the top of his dome. But he does get taken out after he completely exposes himself.
Yep, that's right. B is going to be heavily contested. Skyscraper still has not fallen down. Tanks are going to be on the ready as well. Look at the pressure that is being applied here by the Bravo squad on Alpha. They just have no idea what to do here. You can see, look at this, two tanks as well as a truck. That MRAP definitely doing work.
Let's go ahead and get into I think the Metro. Uh-oh, is that a Recon falling in the behind? Yeah, he has the repair tool. He's trying to attack it, caused a little bit of damage. Now he's completely out in the open, still chasing, bobbing and weaving. He's going to get taken down by the infantrymen there out on the street.
Yeah, that was, you know, could have been great for him, especially if he would have been able to lay down that C4 and take care of it, but that just did not happen there. And now they still have all that tank control pushing that A flag. But look here, Bravo 7 is in a world of hurt. That tank is on fire, and he's getting shot from behind.
Down.
Oh no, I think he is going to get taken out here. Without a doubt, there it is. What?
Another song went.
What?
Another song was in my head on that one too.
Whoop, there it is.
Yep.
Yes. Oh man. Why are we always just thinking about songs? I don't get it.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and hop into a first-person view. Let's find someone on the tabletop there. As here comes some, he's trying to find out where he is after so much destruction's coming in there. That's probably from the AC-130. He's going, wait a minute. I'm probably not in the best spot.
I am out in the open. I could get hurt. And here comes a Tomahawk missile. So that is certainly not going to be good. Bravo 07 now moving in with this helicopter. Tomahawk as well making their way through. So this is going to open up A quite nice at the very least. But all of the U.S. guys still have control.
You know what I want to see?
What do you want to see?
I want to see a Tomahawk take out a helicopter.
Oh, that'd be awesome. And I'm pretty sure one day we will see that. I'm pretty sure.
That would be so awesome. And then I want to see a Tomahawk take out a jet.
Oh. Now you're thinking too far, Corey.
No.
Only in Battlefield.
Only in Battlefield.
All right, Bravo 7 in that helicopter there. He is trying to make some noise, and there's a tank as well, but he is not aware of that. We are aware of it because of the all-seeing eye of tabletop mode that you're seeing here. We're on board with Alpha 10, and he is, or Alpha 10 or Alpha 19. I am really, really blind. That is not good.
It's 19. But so one of the things we can talk about is the respawn process too while we're in tabletop. We don't actually, what's great is in some of the previous versions, whenever you were looking at it, you'd actually cycle through each position and you'd get a live camera view of where that area is. In this form, in Battlefield 4, you actually have your selectable spawn points that you can go off of. So just like we are clicking on each of the members, we can actually do the exact same whenever you're trying to respawn. So you have a squad member that you need to spawn off of. You don't have to spawn off a squad leader. You just you can spawn off a squad member, and you can spawn where you have any of the points, and you can also spawn in your spawn.
Nice. Nice. Well, there are a lot of options as well to keep the action flowing, keep things moving. B is right now being contested here and held down by the CN guys, so they're going to maintain control of that one at the very least. Or they had control of the area, as a matter of fact. I must have misspoke because I saw a bunch of orange arrows there. They just didn't do anything. And now making their way down into the other side. B is going to be a big hot area, or a hot point of interest.
12-0.
12-0
one
for the
of the
Alpha
players is
Commander.
12-0. I don't think, yeah, this player is 8-5, but there's another player that was 12-0 that was right beneath
Yeah, that
him.
was the Alpha Commander.
Oh, that was the Alpha Commander.
Yeah,
That's probably why we didn't hop on with him.
Yeah, getting a couple of kills there with the Tomahawks has certainly proved very helpful for them. And also you can be a big contributing factor to the team, as you saw right there. I mean, yeah, granted,
You're sitting in the coffee shop with your tablet and picking up kills.
Yeah, that is
with
very
the Tomahawk.
True. And, man,
in game in Battlefield 4.
M1 Abrams getting pounded over somewhere. I don't know where, but it's not losing a lot of armor, so they are going to go and get D, and just like that, Corey, the tables have flipped, and now US have moved into the territory of the Chinese.
All right, so as we take a look, you still got Alpha 28 still moving around here. He has his teammate to work with there as well. E is right now under contest, and Bravo 11 getting gunned down. So you can tell that Alpha 11 actually has a gunner with him. He's out in the open, but there are so many players that he can shoot upon right now. There's another one just inside of the that fireball.
Ooh.
So just on the other side, working around the pillar, able to pick up another one. Man, they were just picking them apart.
Dissecting them. Just really, really.
Scalpel.
Yeah, the tank is a scalpel. I would never have made the comparison, but seems to be the case right now. This guy is just tearing it apart. Alpha 28 continuing to advance forward. There's going to be a bunch of orange arrows right in front of him as he is still going to have full health, but rockets are going to be coming down around. He's able to take out one to the left side. Can he take out the one in front as well?
This is a perfect angle for him.
It is, but you know what though? There's a lot of rocket fire coming all around him. He cannot seem to take out any of them, but he is going to find one player in front. He is going to drop him.
He's just going to go.
Oh man, go for it. Balls to the wall, buddy. Might as well. And he is finally dropped. Man, what a run there for that Alpha 28 guy, Corey.
Yeah, there's two different options that he could have taken out there. You could have sit there and one, he could have bailed. Probably wouldn't have been a good idea. Two, he could have tried to figure out how to drive away, maneuver his way out of there. The issue with that is he could have got shot in his backside. And lastly, he could have just tried to press right on through and try to kill as many people as he could before getting taken down. He took option C.
Option C, red pill or blue pill? Red. I mean,
no,
or the green pill?
Yeah, the green pill.
The green. I like how we both thought of green. That was a high five.
RGB, bro.
You didn't explode it. You didn't.
Oh, well, that's we didn't think like
it's understandable. I mean, it's
I was still thinking about green.
Yeah. Oh man, well, here comes that Tomahawk, and there is a lot of Chinese players that are going to be around that area. That tank is going to be in the area too. Oh no. And I think that it is not going to happen.
Wait for it.
But that helicopter, let's actually see what's up with that helicopter. Oh, never mind.
Found an infantry.
Jinxed it.
There it is.
All right. So now the helicopter is...
Spectating is like your own mini game.
It is.
Trying to select an individual player.
It is.
Especially a moving helicopter that's just flowing through the map, decides to kind of scan through a bunch of players.
Yeah. Yeah, you were right about that, Corey. And the Viper finding a player at the bottom, but he is not going to go for the kill. No, he actually does. I think he might have gotten it as well, circling around the side by the water, where no one will hurt him.
Yeah, he's taking a very long approach to try to get that same person. All right, take 2. Let's do this again. Spraying down, missing with every shot.
Take 3.
All right, I need to kind of reset myself, figure this one out. All right,
Not hit
I've
the
got
water.
it this time. I really have it this time. I can do it. Motivational tape brought to you by.
To you by Corey Dunn.
Hey, and he takes
And he
him
gets
down.
it. Alpha 27.
Hey, 3rd time's a charm.
I know. It actually is so true in that one. That was actually
Wait a
pretty
minute. Don't get too excited.
fun. Imagine he's like floating around. It's like, guys, I just ended up getting that dude after the 3rd try. I felt really good about myself on that one. And now I'm going to be going after this tank. I think it's going to be a good attempt here. Let's see. Take 1. No, never mind. I'm actually just going to fly to the water.
Alpha 27 still just kind of hanging out here with the helicopter. We can watch him for days, but we'll go ahead and switch around though.
Yeah, see what's up with the free cam here as we look at that is going to be B.
Yep.
And oh, good rocket there. That play is going to get taken out. Oh, look at that. All those rockets coming from nowhere. Different angles. This is not going to look good here for this tank unit. One more hit, and he is going to be done. But he has support, Corey. He has support.
And see that engineer right behind him, and trying to be able to repair him right now. But he exposes his teammate, still kind of working there, going back and forth, and boom, goes the tank.
Boom goes the tank. That was a good. So you could have went with dynamite because I mean obviously, but I'm glad you did it.
Yeah.
Glad you did. I'm proud of you, Corey. Proud of you. Internet meme defeated. So we have the Alpha squad making their way through to B. They do manage to get control. And yeah, I have to agree, right? Our cameraman, we don't know who you are, but we love you for listening to what we do, for listening to what we say. I don't know. But yes, so we have a lot of craziness going on here right now. B is going to be in the control of Alpha squad. And what's up with the tabletop? I actually want to see what's up with the tabletop. And yeah, well, look at that. So C right now is going to go to Alpha squad. D and E for the Chinese squad over in Bravo. But you know what, though? Still anyone's game at this point in time. I mean, for all we know, the Chinese squad could just dominate here, and the U.S. squad can't answer back at all. I mean, that could very well be a possibility.
So one of the things that you might be questioning, too, is you see the Tomahawk quite a bit in this game. And it's really fallen on specific locations, whether that's B, C, D, what have you. But one of the things, though, to note is you can designate an area that is not a specific location.
Okay.
So you can predetermine your spot. We had seen it once before where the action was happening on the north side of C, and where these 2 tanks were kind of hanging out. Remember that infantry that was up at the very top there?
Yeah.
And we saw a Tomahawk there. So that just kind of clarifying everything, that you can use a Tomahawk wherever you please whenever you're in commander mode.
Yeah, you can, and that is why the freedom in that mode is really cool. We saw a little while ago.
Yeah, look at the commander.
Look at that.
He's 24. Of course, he's going to be 24-0, but he's got 24 kills in this game, using every bit of the Tomahawk, and he's got to thank his teammates for holding down B this entire game.
Yeah, that's right. They've maintained that position, which have allowed him to do that. But Bravo here is actually going to end up getting C, as the score is going to be 172 to 476 right now. A, D, and E are going to go to the U.S. squad, while the Chinese do manage to hold down, what is that, B and C. Or they're trying to flip C right now.
Yeah, so it's going neutral.
And any minute now they will be able to do so. He is going to have some teammate support, hopefully, at some point in time. But that was going to be an enemy player that he was shooting at there. Of course, U.S. players are blue. Chinese soldiers are orange or red in the spectator mode. And Corey, is a comeback feasible here with the CN squad? Can they do this?
With the amount of time that we have, it may be a little bit difficult. But in a real competitive match, there's no direct timeline that you're on, And so it's the first to 0. So yes, so anything is possible. So the Chinese team can come all the way back, especially from a deficit that's still not incredible. It's 300 ticks. It's a little bit less than 300 ticks. But in the reality of it all, it's still possible.
Yeah, that's right. And now we see Alpha 08 jet skis are coming through. But yeah, so you know what though? Just so you guys are aware, after we're done with this game, we're actually going to have an awesome interview coming up here with a member from Astro Gaming. So that should be pretty awesome. Astro providing the headsets here that the players are using at this point in time. So we're going to get a few words with them. So that's going to happen right after this game here. But look at here, some close quarters action. We have not really had many opportunities to see Alpha 08 finding guys right in front of him. Takes out one,
Red
and he's
dot,
taking the second as well. Let's see if he can do so, but he is going to get picked off from behind.
All right, so back over here with the Recon member here. He's got the scout in hand. One of my favorite weapons in any game I play. As we'll go ahead and see right now, Steel working down towards the bottom side. He spotted or knew that there was a tank or a vehicle that was up on the top part of that bridge, and so he's going to go ahead and rotate underneath, but he's out in the open now. He spotted one tank, and looks like they were able to help him out right now. Still pushing towards that D point. There's a vehicle right behind him on the bridge, and so as they're going to continue to kind of be able to push up here. As again, he looks like he might be able to spot a couple players right here. It has to go for that bolt action though, putting that bullet back into the chamber. And so again, just kind of going back and forth. He's playing so aggressive with the type of setup that he has right now. As Alpha 17 has been able to pick up a couple. He's still staying alive, getting shot on his 6. See if he can be able to turn back around now. He doesn't spot anyone. Doing a great job of angling around the corner right there with that scout in hand. Still right now, as you can take a look, you've got we're getting pretty close to it right now. It's got 128 and 315 left in this game here on Siege of Shanghai. We've been watching this map for the past 2 days now, and kudos to Alpha 17 staying alive throughout that entire little mix, and he's going to finally get taken out. I jinxed him at the very end right there.
All right, so Corey had a pretty good game here so far. 116 to 299. The CN squad looking pretty solid. I mean, or the U.S. squad looking pretty solid. I think, we've been seeing some great gameplay thus far here. What do you think was a difference maker in this game?
All right, so I'm just trying to get you set up here. We got Walt here from Astro. I'm happy that you stopped on by. Of course, I've had the chance to be able to work with your product for a while now, and also, the fact that you're able to provide and help out with the Battlefield 4 and everything. It's just a pleasure to have you on here. Kind of tell me about the partnership that you got working on here with Battlefield 4.
Well, we've been big fans of the Battlefield franchise for a very, very long time. A lot of the people in the office play really regularly. Yep. And when we were talking about partnerships for the fall, Battlefield 4 was on the front of our list.
That's good.
So, we come out, we've been working with EA for a long time, all around headset sponsorships, around events, that kind of stuff. We've done a few different licensed products in the past. We're really excited to be the official.
Details that you were mentioning as well. I think one of the cool things for me that I heard earlier today was one, the ammo and health pack. I know I've mentioned this numerous times, the having the ability to have the little packs that you can slap on one of your teammates that can go back into the battle, or you can toss it. Say they're, for instance, are on the second story. I think that's a great addition. And also the C4 side of things, where whenever you're on recon, you can swim across to a boat and slap C4 on the side of the boat and have the same type of impact that you do to any type of vehicle on land.
Yeah, it's actually something we felt that when you're swimming, you were swimming in BF3, you were very exposed because you could not fire back, you couldn't do anything. So any kind of one-handed gadget or weapons you could actually use now when you're swimming as well. And you have sprint swim.
Yeah, sprint swim. I think that's been a great thing that we coined. That you first thing that was mentioned. I think the entire community is already attached to the idea. The other big key component is the fact that you can shoot your secondary. That's above and beyond. And one of the cool things that we had the chance to see was a player dove into the water and stayed down. So a lot of people may think, well, you can just dive down for a moment and then you have to pop back up. But what we've seen so far is players actually taking advantage of it and diving down, because again, in Battlefield 3, you were a sitting duck. You were exposed, and I think that again is another great addition out there.
Yeah.
So again, I think there's been a lot of great elements that we've noticed so far throughout the game. Another one that I think that we can kind of talk about too is some of the vehicle animations whenever they become disabled. So there was a post out there saying that there was a flat tire for one of the vehicles, and one of the animations was it had lost a tire, and it was actually.
That's actually more than I know, but that might be true.
No, again, this goes back to the little minute details that the community picked up. I didn't pick up on it first thing, but I've been watching for it now.
No, but the team back home that is working so hard on this title, not just for this title, but for Battlefield as a whole, we have this great idea of attention to detail, and actually the game is starting to get so detailed now that it's hard to just keep up with everything that is happening. Just small things like, you know, a sniper rifle, but now you have rangefinders in there that, you know, these kind of small things that goes into it. And of course we try to add these kind of things because it actually makes the game more interesting to play with, not just because of the eye candy factor.
So the question that I have then is, how do you balance, because you don't want to get too super realistic with certain elements. You want to kind of keep it a little bit, have an arcadey feel. How do you balance those two?
Well, we have a saying in the studio that we're not trying to build a realistic game, but we are trying to build an authentic game. But even before authentic, we're building a fun game. So, you know, fun comes before everything else. You know, you can look at the jets, for instance. They do not fly at the same appropriate speed as a jet probably should, because it would never work in the actual game. But that's the kind of you know, that's the kind of compensations you need to do to get this whole Battlefield system to work together. And I think so far we do you know, everything pretty well. Sometimes you might do something that is too far out there, etc., and then we scale it back and we fix it in post.
I think one of my favorite things is watching a tank actually flip. I think that alone is only in Battlefield for sure.
I should take this opportunity probably with so many people of the community is really you know, listening to what we're saying here, and you know, express how much we appreciate with all the crazy stuff that people do out there in the game, just, you know, just for fun, and sometimes when they play really actively, but all these kind of strange things that people do inside of Battlefield and record the movies and put it up, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So one of the things that you know, with the industry, especially for the Battlefield community, is they're not just consumers, they're producers.
Yep.
And that right there is just a beautiful, beautiful thing, because one, it's not only just what they can do on video, but at the same time the feedback and also the suggestions that are made are just so at a high quality, especially in the Battlefield community. Again, shout out to the guys because they're so educated.
Maybe not everyone knows it, but you probably heard that part of the idea of how we package this product is we say only in Battlefield, like only this is available in Battlefield. And maybe not everyone perhaps see that, but that actually comes from the community created videos. Like when we have seen the huge uptake of these kind of, you know, ideas that people have, and they actually put that into a movie and create it and put it up on the web. That is what the inspiration from that campaign only in Battlefield came from.
Right, and if you haven't had the chance, make sure you go to facebook.com/Battlefield. That's where I got all my updates on the only in Battlefield. So I knew way before I even became a part of this whole shoutcasting ability here. So it was great. Again, I cycled through numerous videos after that point.
Cool.
So as we kind of look at it, we've seen, we talked about the counterattack. I thought that was another great feature that was added into the game. One of the things that was kind of interesting to me, and I honestly don't know the answer because I've played a great deal of just normal gameplay for Battlefield 3, but I've noticed in this game right here, we get, it's a feature that's been here for this demo since we're in pre-alpha right now, but we get to see what it's like to have ammo for hardcore. So in hardcore, where the magazine clip doesn't fully reload itself. So basically what I'm trying to get at, I've tried to explain this numerous times, but whenever you reload, you're dispensing the clip altogether, not the ammo that's there. So as we just the way that the game has been great though, because what I've noticed is we're not seeing any redundancies in gameplay. It's every time we've watched this map being played, it's been different every single time.
And I mean, people that play Battlefield knows this, but I mean, that is part of the core recipe of what we call like the sandbox and the rock, paper, scissors design that has been with Battlefield from the beginning. That is part of the idea that it's not just about building one game mechanic, it's building a system of game mechanic that matches together. So, you know, you always have something to counter the other with. You know, a jet might be good against tanks, but, you know, they're vulnerable to something else, etc. And that is part of what the idea of Battlefield is all about.
So what is the process that goes into to really balance out tanks or the land battle versus air, and what's the method that goes into play?
Well, there's, you know, naturally we have very skilled designers sitting at home thinking about this, and we rely quite heavily as well on just, you know, the experience that people have. But there's one thing that really makes this possible, and that is playing the game over and over and over and over again in the studio. Every day we have playtest, we go in, we take all the fixes that people have done over the last 24 hours or whatever. We play the game and people give feedback, and the people that are responsible for the various parts of the game then look at their specific features to say, did it work better, worse, etc. You know, how is it turning out? So just repeating this kind of iterative process of getting feedback in, fixing stuff, testing it, playing it again, these kind of things. That's basically how we get to the well, hopefully the quality that people enjoy when we release the game.
Probably one of my favorite parts is inside the elevator and the elevator music as you go up. So there, I mean, again, we've dived down deep into all the different types of elements that is within Battlefield. There's actually another point that I just thought of, the squad side. One of the things that I've realized is we don't have. I haven't seen. Directly a squad sprint, a squad ammo, all those different elements. But if you look in the bottom left side of your screen, I see this bar. Can you explain that for me?
This is a feature that we call field upgrade. That is, some people might somewhat recognize from Battlefield 2142, where you have like this system, and basically it means that if you play together as a squad, anything team-related score events actually helps you upgrade your field upgrades. These will then give you various upgrades that, you know, similar to more ammo, more grenades and these kind of things. But you can also be punished. So if, for instance, the squad is wiped out, you actually fall down a level. And the things are also reset after your session is over. So it's one of those things that we want to put in there that is not persistent. It's something you have to work to get to.
Right.
But it can greatly affect your efficiency as a squad together.
What is and I've seen previous versions with Battlefield, and having a rank gives you the accessibility to a lot more weapons. How is that balancing out for those who are just now getting their first chance to play Battlefield 4? So say, for instance, a year from now, whenever we've actually had the chance to play Battlefield 4, it's in the community, but I'm a new user and I just hop into it.
Well, I mean, we have a philosophy that we should never have any real, super guns that just take over and are much more efficient than all the other guns. So, but that does also make it hard, because you want to make some guns, you want to have people work to get them and unlock them, etc. But the way that we work with this and the philosophy is that they have different traits. If you might prefer a specific weapon because of the handling or because of how it actually works, rate of fire, the damage it does, whatever it might be with this core functionality of the actual weapon. So it's much about unlocking the weapons that are out there and then finding your favorite, which you like. And then, of course, you have all the customization that goes with that as well.
Right.
So you can not only unlock your weapon, but then customize it to to fit your playstyle, basically.
I think one of my favorite additions, it may not be the most grand in comparison to others, but is the ability to have attachments for your secondary.
Yes.
And you don't have to sit there and work towards an unlockable for a pistol with a silencer. you're working for the attachment, and you get that attachment, and you can attach that to various other weapons. So I think that's great. Yeah, so we've just been watching so far while talking about it. So we've got right now we're with Alpha 03. What was the idea behind both the amphibious vehicle and also this MRAP? In terms of, is it just built for the fact that it can get you across the map quicker? I guess I'm looking for what its purpose is.
Well, I mean, are you talking about the water vehicles?
The amphibious vehicle, as well as the that vehicle that we're just with just now. The land vehicle as well.
Well, I mean, I don't know the exact details that went into the ideas of why they selected those specifically, but I mean, when it comes to the actual vehicles we have on water, we know that as soon as you're out on the water, you are pretty exposed. And speed is definitely something you need to use there to maneuver around. So the faster the water-based amphibious vehicles are, the easier it is. But we also want them to be capable to actually fire back, specifically perhaps helicopters, which can be quite pestering if you're on the surface. So if you take the boat that we have in here, for instance, you both have a cannon, but you also have like 2 Gatling guns. I don't know exactly what the model type of them are, but that are sitting on the side of the boat. So you can be very offensive with it as well. And then you have the jet skis, of course. The actual land-based vehicle you're talking about is more of an armored, fast-moving vehicle. We've had Jeeps, of course, in the past, but this one definitely has more armor because otherwise you're pretty exposed in the other vehicles. The light, the light-skinned vehicles we have had earlier before.
Are we going to have the chance to be able to still see those light-skinned vehicles in later once this game is fully developed?
Oh, you put them into the test here. I don't know exactly the full roster of the vehicles we have. We should probably ping some of the vehicle designers in the studio, but I couldn't see why not.
Yeah, so that was always one of I think the questions that was out there. I mean, of course, this is a very it's a great window, but it's a narrow window comparison to what is possible.
Yep.
Of course, I mean, getting the chance to see some really dramatic evolutions just similar to this on other maps, I'm looking forward to it. I know that people were questioning in the very beginning when they first saw the skyscraper fall, they thought of the tower falling in BF3, and it was a timed event in BF3. But here, it's an interaction by the players.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of, or the concept of evolutions that we talk about it, for the people that have been with the franchise for a long period of time, they know that the introduction of destruction in Battlefield Bad Company 1 really changed how people play the game, right? It went from being something quite static into something very dynamic. That was, of course, inspired by the fact that, we as players at DICE were we felt that it was it didn't feel right when you ran into a small tent and, a big Abrams tank was shooting at the tent and nothing was happening. So we felt that that's, at the same time that we're not building a simulator, but we wanted to build a game that felt more interesting. And that's where the first idea of destruction came from. Now we're in Battlefield 4, we're taking this into a whole new concept that is not just about the destruction ranging from micro destruction all the way to the skyscraper coming down. It's about the interactivity of things like elevators or things that affect the spatial awareness of metal detectors going off when you run through them, etc.
I think one of my favorite things that I've seen also is whenever they were over in Metro and closing the storefront. Yeah. It was, so they were able to hide in there for a little bit so any other infantry couldn't break through.
Yeah, but I mean, the team is quite busy with trying to figure out more of these kind of small things, because sometimes you don't, we're sitting there looking at it, they might not feel like, oh, an elevator, how interesting is that? But actually, when you think about it from that you're going to be playing this for so many hours and you play it from a tactical point of view, elevators are really interesting, and it's like we should definitely have more of that.
Yeah, so one of the key points that I know that I do a lot in Battlefield 3 is I'll hop in a helicopter or find a way to parachute down on top of the building. But if you give me an elevator, I'll take that.
Yeah.
But it's been great to watch all the different the elements that have come into this game, and I just look forward to getting the chance to play hands-on in my own home. Especially for those of you that haven't done it yet, you can go to Amazon.com and pre-order Battlefield 4 right now, and you'll even receive a battle pack with that as well. So it's been great to watch. I mean, like I mentioned before, we've seen so many different variations of gameplay throughout these past 2 days, and it's always impressive to me. This is actually the first helicopter battle that I've seen yet.
Oops, that was
Maybe that's why I haven't seen them last. They don't last too long. Especially, so I guess that brings back up a point too. And when we're talking about creating new maps, we're talking what was the thought process of trying to recreate Shanghai to this scale?
Well, I mean, when the team thought about this, I mean, we wanted to create a map that we haven't done before, and there's so many different elements that are put together in this map. You know, we have done downtown urban areas before with skyscrapers, but never with air vehicles. You know, we would never combine the idea of you can zoom around with a helicopter around skyscrapers, etc. At the same time, we haven't neither combined that with water before as well. So this map is really a test for us to see how much can we push this when it comes to the scale and the various different types of gameplay that we can put into one map. It's been a challenge for the team to get all of this together, but I would say that they were very happy with the results so far, and people really like the map. But it is very, very ambitious from that perspective. So, and not all maps of the game will be like this and contain every element, of course. There will be, you know, maps that are more specifically driven in one direction to the other, etc. But it's also natural for us to choose this map for an event like this, E3, to really show off what we can do.
I know that there's been some players that are out there that said, I'm from Shanghai, and it looks pretty spot on for the most part.
Yeah, we don't try to replicate areas, you know, to the minute detail, but we definitely take a lot of inspiration and use some parts of it which looks very similar.
All right, so this is a question that the community is always wondering about. I think it was kind of got sparked a little bit, but I have to, similar to kind of what Battlefield 3 was, how much damage you had caused to a player is usually what your assist points are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could probably even get 99 for an assist. And so that's what we see. So let's go and hop into gameplay.
That's right.
While we kind of talk through everything else.
Yep.
I mean, theoretically, he's building right now.
Okay, you win. The internet wins today. Oh, my God.
Theoretically.
You know, I mean,
I'm just cracking on.
No, you're right. You're right. He is building writing. So looking up top here, there's one player who actually is going to be Alpha 14. Is going to get into some action, and Corey is going to take a look at the Reddit thread. I am going to look at the action and see what is going down here. Helicopters flying everywhere. We saw a lot of awesome cinematic clips there from the trailers and videos that we had saw in the break there while we were not showing live gameplay. You know, a lot of players have commented on the green laser sight. There is a green laser sight as well in the game. You know, works about as similar as the regular laser sight as well. And when you put the, I guess, laser sight in the eyes of the player, it is in fact green. So there really isn't much more to speak on that one. I haven't had much of an opportunity to fiddle with it, and I haven't seen it used all that much either.
Yeah, so right now, as you can see, it's 498 to 511. Still a close game, and just kind of a battle over the C flag.
Oh, this guy
first thing, I mean, he's going to get taken down as we now are on board with the AC-130.
So
you can see how it's out there in the distance.
I actually want to talk about this AC-130. So I was actually reading in a thread, players were talking about the AC-130. They were also talking about the commander mode, and how you know, when you take over a territory, you know, you get an ability through commander mode. Now, a lot of players are like, yeah, but if you get B, you know, C as well as D, that could be pretty overpowering, right? Well, one, you shouldn't let that happen.
But you just took over 3 points. You had to work for it all.
But here's the other thing too. In this particular map on Siege, when that building falls down, and I don't know if the AC, let's see tabletop mode and see if the AC-130 is still up there.
Yep, it's out there on the left
Let's go ahead and
side.
click on the AC-130 real fast. Look at this screen. If we go into first person mode.
Man, that's so overpowered right now.
So OP. So OP. I can see everything. I mean, you know, I can see it because we're in spectator mode. But you know, to the actual player himself, the only thing he can see is his teammates, and that's the thing. That's the balance of it. You know what I mean? That debris really does cause a lot of problems.
With that being said, I mean, so you will be able to see players that are spotted. So if your teammates spot any of the opponents, But with that being said, you don't know if they're above ground, below ground. There's no indicator that states where they're at exactly, because you can see, again, we can see the little HUD icons that are out there. One of the cool things that I want to note, though, is how the overview map even changes whenever the skyscraper falls. As you can take a look and see how that peninsula comes out.
Yeah, it extends out a little bit further, as you can see right there, and the mouse actually curved over it to show like how far it goes. Like that's the usual distance there, right where the sea starts. Right, that is actually where the actual part of that land begins. But because of the fact the building collapses, then everything kind of gets pushed further into the sea there. So pretty cool stuff.
Earlier today, we saw someone, an Olympian swimmer, that was trying to cross the canal, and the building was falling at that exact moment, and we were just like, I don't know if you're going to make it.
Oh, so this player is actually using the green laser sight here.
He's going all out. He's got camo.
I love it. That's what I want to see. Let's actually go third person, see what he's using.
The player card?
Yeah, let's see what's up with the player card. He's actually going to be using that vertical grip, a reflex RDS, that naval, as well as their green sight. And he's using that CZ3A1, of course, Alpha 30 on your screen here. And yeah, I mean, basically, we've been seeing a lot of players take advantage of the variety, because there are a lot of options to choose from, despite this being an alpha build. There are quite a few customizations and guns to choose from.
Yeah, if there's any curiosity as well at this point in the pre-alpha stage about whether or not like a flashbang can take up like a secondary grenade spot. For what I've seen in the GUI system right now, both the highly explosive grenade as well as a flashbang and also the incendiary are all in the same slot.
Really?
Yeah. And one of the other cool things, though, too, is the where the gadgets are at. There's a point where you can have both packs for the medic and everything. And there's a variety there as well.
Yeah, that's right. And also, you know, for other analysis as well, Level Cap, I just heard, put out a pretty informative video out on his YouTube channel. So be on the lookout for that as well. I haven't seen Level Cap here, so he's kind of a little bit of an enigma. But I would like to get him on here. Maybe tomorrow could be a possibility. But yeah, so, you know, getting back to the action here, Alpha 30 on your screen. He is finding a player right in front of him. He might be able to take him out. Some good pacing on the shots there.
And you can see right now he's in full automatic as well. So that's one of the other benefits here is we can see all the 4 different points right there. You can see that he has some type of tactical attachment there. So he can switch from this red dot over to an optical zoom pretty quickly.
That's right. And oh, that player ended up getting taken out there as we jump into some tank action. This is going to be Alpha 19, who will be in a tank battle, finding one person right in front of him. That is going to be Bravo 10. He's going to go for the ram there. They need to be careful, as he is going to have 31 health left. Oh, man.
He's trying to get the repair. He's going to hightail it out there as well.
That was a smart move. Hopefully, if he can stay alive, never mind.
Oh, he does.
He jumped. Yeah, we were both pleasantly surprised on that one. So yeah, he manages to stay alive. Now he's going to try and see if he can get some long-distance shots. But you can see there, definitely not controlling the recoil of that gun from that long distance. He might need to move up there to make it more effective.
All right, just kind of taking a look around here. You can see we're over here towards Metro, getting a little Levolution point right there where the fire hydrant has exploded.
Yep, and you know, of course, the skyscraper falling down. You know, actually, some people had asked me, you know, like the different Levolution elements. The skyscraper is the most profound of them, but there are a lot of different little things scattered across the map. You know, things like the stores that also can be destroyed. You can also bring down the gates on the stores too,
right, and
for
also
more protection.
Also, the fact whenever you go into a store, as we take a look, you can see we're following this Tomahawkless. But while we do that, one of the other things that you can sit there and talk about in the storefronts is watching when someone comes through a storefront. It actually sounds off the alarm if you jump up on top of a car. That
the metal detectors too.
Yep. There's a lot of different things that come into play that can be that fall under Levolution, which means there's so many more possibilities, not just what we have on Siege of Shanghai. So
exactly. You know, bear in mind, this is just one map in the many that you know, Battlefield has. And for the one map, I mean, I would tell you right now, this is an awesome map. It's, you know, perfectly symmetrical. It has a lot of great choke points. There isn't a lot of sequences where you're kind of just like running around willy-nilly with no clear idea on where the objective is. It really is a great map and a good design. But you can see there that B was getting capped there by the Bravo squad. Here comes Alpha 24, finding players right in front of him. This one guy's going to come to his left side here. He is going to get picked off.
That's a very aggressive approach there, trying to hop down inside of Metro.
Yeah, by himself too. That's never going to turn out well.
He had the advantage, honestly, with the high ground. He could have just stayed up top, been able to pick him from above. He could have utilized the high ground for as long as he wanted to, and then could have pushed in and be able to pick up that B flag.
Yep, but they seems as if they are going to be contending it though, or contesting it. So they are going to have someone there, but they are losing A, which is quite interesting. So hopefully the U.S. squad can get their bearings together here, as they are currently going to be up in this game, 325 to 255. The ticks are coming down.
The 75-point lead at this point.
Ooh, and that secondary, by the way, that he pulled out there. Quite interesting. See, you like it with that? It's like quite interesting. Yes, but of course. So guys, keep in mind that we are, you know, actively looking at Reddit. We are actively looking at Twitter and just trying to, you know, I guess see what is out there that we know that we can answer. And just so you guys know, a lot of the things here that we answer, it comes from us. It's not, you know, like market speak or anything like that. We are, you know, watching the game. These are things that we are noticing as we observe. So, and we've been watching a lot of Battlefield 4 today. Hopefully you guys have been as well, because, you know, I've heard that we've had quite a few viewers throughout the course of these last 2 days, which makes it, you know, quite amazing, in my personal opinion, to see so many people coming out and supporting Battlefield 4 and EA.
Yeah, so one of the difficult. This is very difficult. Whenever you have the 20-time zoom, it is so hard to hit shots that are at such close range.
Yeah, hopefully he can nail this headshot here. He just needs to line it up.
If you look also, he has the ability to kind of focus his rangefinder.
Yeah, that is true. He can focus the rangefinder if he you know, looks, but he's getting shot from the right side. So we just saw there, took two to the body there. But oh my God, look at this here. Alpha 23 is going to take some shots there on the side. Oh man, this is insane. He's going to move right inside of this building here, knowing that there are going to be a bunch of players on the outside. This is certainly not very good here for the Bravo squad. They're losing a lot of tickets. But you know what, though? Let me retract that statement. The U.S. squad losing a lot of tickets, as it is right now 223 to 219.
1 second about to be tied.
This is crazy.
Actually, it's going to start to separate now, because the Chinese right now, so 216, 214. They're fighting back and forth, kind of exchanging flags at this point. Right now, though, Alpha 23, he's going to get spotted from the high ground, similar to what I mentioned before. It's always, in any game you've ever played, it's always better to be on the high ground.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, in looking at all this stuff, Corey, it makes me really excited for when a lot of the top Battlefield players actually get their hands on this game. Oh man, they're going to have a field day. It's not amphibious.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
But he is.
But he is
amphibious. But yeah, I'm really stoked about all that, Corey. Like, when these top players finally get their hands on it, all the cool strategies that we're going to see, the use of the commander mode. I mean, wow, it is certainly going to be very cool. You can see that AC-130 again, not nearly as effective because of the fact that dust is pretty much clouding the view. And it's going to require a lot of accuracy and patience to be able to take out the targets that he was going for.
I honestly think that the commander weapons are pretty balanced. We saw one great commander today.
That's true.
That picked up 24 kills at one point. But really, I think they're pretty effective, or pretty balanced for the most part, because whenever you look at, let's break them down one for one. The Tomahawk it takes forever to get to a point, but then once it gets there, it causes a lot of damage.
That's right.
And players are spotting it and knowing that a Tomahawk is out. Also, something to note, whenever the gunship is out, and a commander has made the call, and a gunship is out it is then stated on the screen. So it says that the gunship is above. So players know to be on the lookout for that.
That's right. And then the UAV, of course, is a very, very effective tool, but you still got to get the kills at the end of the day. So you can have a UAV circling around something, but if the other team is anticipating your aggression, then you know what? It's probably not even going to matter there. So as you can see,
names where we are, and then you drop into our server. So we had a blast. It was really fun.
The Dice Hunters will definitely find
Dice
you. They need those hags, man.
Yeah, they're rough.
So I noticed you were playing Engineer on Battlefield 4.
That's my favorite class.
Do you like the changes that they've made? Have you noticed any of the nuances at all?
Yeah, I do. I think that every version of Battlefield's got to bring something new, and you learn what people are liking and what things they don't like by where they churn out on a particular item or thing. But I really like how they've changed a lot of how the unlocks work, and then the mixing and the matching of the capabilities. I'm also a big vehicle guy. I love playing tanks.
Yeah.
I play that World of Tanks game quite a bit.
Speaking of tanks, Alpha 30 rocking a tank right here.
Yeah, there you go.
I could always drive the tanks, but I could never actually do any of the air vehicles.
Right.
I just flip a helicopter over right away.
I play on the PC, so I use the joystick. I cheat a little there, but yeah, I like flying a lot. So, what was different is in Bad Company 2, I played the Recon class a lot, and I just didn't end up being the sniper in BF3. So what I'm excited about is BF4. The snipers feel different, and
they feel
kind of
amazing.
get back into that class a little bit.
I still think the bullet sync is one of the most satisfying feelings as a gamer.
Yeah.
Just like sending that bullet across the map and having it sync down perfectly is fantastic.
Yeah, managing drop is great. It's cool to see the gunship too, and commander mode is back. I haven't actually called in a missile strike on my tablet yet, but I've seen it in enough demos to see it's pretty good.
It was actually demoed during the press conference.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that was one of my favorite things.
I was one of the guys back there playing.
Oh, you got to be one of the
I
players?
snuck in, yeah.
What was that like?
That was fun, Initially they told me, make sure you don't shoot the helicopter because you'll screw up the demo. But, all heck broke loose and we had a good time.
I think that was one of the really well received things was the curtain coming up and 64 players standing right there behind the stage playing it live.
We had a really good press conference. You work on these games for so long, and we couldn't talk about Gen 4 forever.
Right.
And finally to be able to come out on stage and say, here's Battlefront, here's Battlefield 4, here's Titanfall, and see the reaction. It was just awesome. I mean, that's ultimately why we're here, is we make games trying to make people happy and entertain them, and when they are, it's awesome.
Yeah. And then speaking a little bit towards Frostbite, we've noticed that Frostbite's being used in more and more games.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about EA's decision to invest heavily in the Frostbite engine?
Sure. When I started working in the studio a few years ago, and I looked at the environment and how we're building games, we had over 22 development engines, distinctly different ones, and some of them weren't that good. And the guys in Sweden have built this unbelievable suite of technology in Frostbite 1 and 2. And so we just exposed all these game teams to the power of Frostbite, and they got to opt into it because, ultimately these guys want to use the best tech, the best tools to create the best experiences. And so over time, we basically moved BioWare and Visceral and a bunch of the studios onto Frostbite. And we made a lot of modifications to it. We brought in the animation system from sports, so the figures look a lot more realistic and move, and we can use the motion capture libraries from sports. So, I mean, that's one of the cool things about EA is if you get the whole power of it behind an idea, you can create just world-breaking or, world-class stuff. And so that's what we've been doing, is moving people to Frostbite into EA Sports Ignite. On the sports side, we did the same thing. And it just allows game teams to move guys around. If they roll off of Battlefield 4 and they want to work on a sports game or they want to work on an RPG, they know all the tools already, they know the environment. And, I think when you look at the visuals and you see the game quality, I think we're making the right calls here.
Yeah,
we're going to keep it proprietary. We're not going to license it out or anything, This is something we're going to keep for ourselves.
So I think there were a lot of really great announcements that we made during the press conference. Obviously, Star Wars is amazing, and everybody's looking forward to it. Mirror's Edge 2 looks fantastic. I think one of the things that really excited people was Titanfall.
Absolutely.
The idea of a new IP, bringing out the new products. Is this something that, as EA, we want to keep heavily investing in?
Oh, absolutely. It's always tough to launch new IP at the end of a generation. So what you want to try and do is save those IPs for the front end of a new generation where you can really break through on a bunch of creative fronts.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what we did there. And with Titanfall, Star Wars, as well as Mirror's Edge, and the Plants vs. Zombies game is it's a different take on things. So those together create a really cool, fresh part of our portfolio that helps out with the other stuff.
Yeah, awesome. So E3 2013, huge convention. You've seen a lot of awesome things here. What has been your favorite E3 2013 memory so far?
Probably the reception to Mirror's Edge.
Yeah?
Yeah, that and the reception to Battlefront. You know, we showed 28 seconds of footage and we went to #1 on Twitter. People were standing up and clapping for it. So it was just, like I said earlier in the interview, there's this moment where you actually finally get to show what you're working on.
Yeah.
And when the reception's that good, it was just awesome. So I'd say those two are probably my favorites so far. But it's not over yet.
It's not over yet, actually. We're halfway through. The live stream has been doing amazing. I think a lot of the reception of the community and everything has been really great. And I really do, I think that this is a really important year for Battlefield.
I agree. And we're collecting a lot of awards.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Battlefield 4 E3 2013 show. You know, Golden Boy FTW alongside Mr. Corey Dunn, or I'm Alex Mendez. People have been calling me Alex on Reddit, which is actually kind of weird.
It's nice, man.
It is pretty nice. I mean, everyone's like, hey, Alex. I'm like, hey, guys, how's it going?
Your mama calls you.
My mama does call me. Actually, no, my family calls me Andrew, believe it or not.
This is now a new storyline to me, guys. Breaking news. Breaking news.
My
From now
father
on,
and my
Reddit,
brother are
call
all
him
Alex.
Andrew.
My father, my brother, and my grandfather are all named Alex.
Really?
Yeah, everyone finds that weird, and I guess it is. Enough about my lineage.
All right, so we learned
Talk
a
about the
lot
action.
in day 2.
Yes, we did. Oh, man.
Again, I'm going to restate this one last time. For those of you that are posting out there on Reddit, take advantage of this time frame from this last bit of gameplay till the gameplay in day 3 to write down all the different types of things you want us to find out. We'll try to answer any type of question you can think of, because I'm running dry on all the different things that I'm trying to visually comprehend at this point.
Yeah, that's right. And guys, by the way, this game is about 5 minutes left in this one. So, you know, we're just going to go ahead and catch all the action here as it is heating up. But, you know, I'm going to go ahead and get on Reddit and see what is being discussed over there. Maybe you and I can dip and dabble a little bit in the topics at hand. Yeah, it seems like people are pretty stoked about the Scout Elite Iron Sight gameplay. That actually was just put up on YouTube.
Scout's my favorite weapon in any game.
Yeah, it actually is.
Best Scout NA.
It's really cool. Yeah, and so, you know, I did see someone putting any information about the spawn system. So I mean, obviously we've been spectating, we've been watching how it works out. You know, pretty much, you know, you can spawn on your squad, and you can also spawn on the point as well, right?
Squad
Is there any other
member,
ways?
not necessarily just your squad leader. You can spawn off of any squad member. You can spawn off of any point that you currently have in possession. So for right now, for instance, if we were a U.S. player, we would be able to spawn off of A, B, and C, and now currently D, since that's been acquired. And also, if there's no points available, even whenever their points are taken as well, you can spawn in your own base as well.
Yeah, and you know, I actually happen to be a fan of the spawning on multiple members of your squad. You know, squad leader, you know, their purpose is kind of just like help drive and also assist the commander in action, right? Especially when you have a real coordinated squad. But you know, spawning on anyone within your squad, I think keeps things going a little bit, and also helps your teammates think about their positioning as well. Are you in an advantageous position that could help out your teammate and every other teammate that, you know, just got taken out? Think about those kinds of things. And yeah.
And also, I noticed that I did not mention one of the other spawn points. You can spawn in vehicles as well, being the helicopters. So that element as well. So for those of you that were wondering if you can spawn directly into the vehicle still, that's still the case as well.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it seems like that is pretty much going to be the game here. You know, I was looking at Reddit there to see like what you guys are talking about. And again, I'm going to be looking at this stuff all night long. So get on there on Reddit.
True.
It is I'm on it. We're on it.
He's got like his tablet out that he could be a commander on.
I could very well do
and
so.
then on his phone as well, he's just sitting there trying to check every bit of social media as possible. I scroll through as well. So
you crack me up.
Actual game that is in development right now. So I think it's very, very positive, and I think this is what Battlefield is all about.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a game that you should play, not look at.
That's right. We're going to go ahead and hop into the gameplay here, and you can actually see a gun that we have not seen a lot of throughout the stream was the P90.
and we're seeing it right now. So this is actually pretty cool to watch. So yeah, just a few things that I guess we could talk about in regards to the game. You know, obviously I've been on Reddit and you know, social media, Twitter, and all that. You know, seeing what the fans are talking about, and one of the things they talked about was the defibrillator. That was a big point of interest for a lot of fans who like to play the medic class and everything. So defibs are in the game.
Yes.
Right, and so first and foremost, and in regards to how they function, is this more similar to BF3 or is it a completely new thing altogether?
It's actually more or less like in BF3 with, of course, tweaks to make it even better and more balanced. But in general, it worked really well in BF3. You know, people love to use the defibs and, you know, get their squad back on the feet.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very, very good design from the core, but of course we're trying to make it even better.
Now, I want to ask you about vehicle balance, right? So, you know, we have the tanks out here, right? The M1 Abrams as well as the Chinese tank and, you know, other stuff like that. Any other vehicles we can expect to see? I know that jets are more than likely going to make a return again.
Yes, of course. You know, jets is very important for not only BF3 but for the franchise as a whole. Oh, sorry, BF4 as well. It was very popular in BF3, so of course we're bringing those back and trying to, you know, make the most out of those as well. Other things is, of course, you know, we're replacing some of the vehicles that you saw in BF3. For instance, the Humvee is, you know, getting a bit, you know, old, so it needs to be retired. So we're replacing it with MRAP, which is the actual replacement of the Humvee, which is a very,
in the military.
It's very, very cool and very sturdy vehicle.
Yeah, and Corey was actually telling me a little while ago, and Corey will be back on in a little bit, folks, but he was telling me that he was doing a lot of damage with that MRAP, just driving around and destroying people when he was actually getting in for the play session. So, I mean, I guess another thing is we're looking at a gun right now that is a big question for me, the green laser sight.
Yes.
What is the difference between the green laser sight and the red and the regular laser sight?
Well, right now there's no difference. It's more or less a, you know, what color do you prefer? It doesn't really change the gameplay very much, so it's more or less the same. But you never know. We might, you know, change and tweak that based on what we've done here at E3, because we're also using E3 as a test bed to try this on real gamers.
Yeah.
And we're getting a lot of great feedback from the floor right now. So all the guys from DICE that are here working are actually making notes as they're watching people play the game, which is extremely helpful for the, you know, final touches of the game.
Yeah, because this is still pre-alpha footage at the end of the day, so everything is always subject to change, which is actually pretty cool. Now, here's a cool thing here. So we have the building and the free cam as well with the spectator mode. And before we get into the building here real quick, or maybe we should, because it seems like it might come down. I'll ask about the building first. I am curious. We spoke about building writing in the last one. This time around, if you're on the roof, you're gonna die, right? Period.
If it collapses, if it goes to the full collapse state, yes, you will die. So that's why we have the pre-state where you actually start to rumble, and actually tilts over slightly before it actually collapses. So
because there's a lot of warning before collapses to tell you guys, hey, get off, and you can see these poor chaps are still actually on the building. And just for my own sanity, because I really like the concept of building writing, you know, it seems like pretty cool. Is that something that you guys could consider down the line, maybe putting in there, or is it, you know, better that they just get wiped out as soon as the building starts in its collapse state?
Well, that's something we need to, you know, figure out as we move along. You know, this is the first time we see this in a Battlefield game, which is of course a, you know, big step forward for us and for the franchise. So we need to wait and see how this works and see if we need to do any changes or if we can, you know, keep this, you know, evolving as we move along in the franchise.
Yeah, of course. And okay, so in diving a little bit more about what people have been talking about for, you know, what we saw in the beginning stages of this live stream, first and foremost was the health packs, right?
Yes.
That definitely was a point of conversation for a lot of people. There was they called them the big and the small, but you guys are calling it health packs and health boxes, right? If I'm correct. So what is, I guess, what was the strategy in regards to that? Was it just about keeping things moving, keeping things snappy with the smaller health packs?
Yes, we've noticed that there's a lot of people that are, you know, trying to, you know, help their squads as they're playing the game, but the squads are not really paying attention to them. So they're moving very fast as a squad. Someone is trying to give you ammo or something to hand you, you know, health. but you just run away from it. So
Okay.
instead of having everyone stopping and waiting for someone to deploy ammo or deploy a health pack, we wanted to create a version of this that is lighter and easier to more or less like a grenade that you throw at people,
Okay.
so that they can at least get a small boost but still being on the move.
Okay, so very interesting stuff there. The other one that I was actually pretty curious about. So some people on day one in the Reddit thread put this out there, a little confused about it. Auto leaning. So now I don't know anything about this.
Auto leaning.
Auto leaning. Yeah.
Maybe they're looking at the. We have a peek over functionality that we haven't really talked that much about, that we could probably see people do here. Where I'm not sure if that's what they're referring to,
Yeah,
but
there was
when
not
you're
much
behind a
description on
cover that is of the right size and you press when you zoom in, you
Okay.
actually move over the cover automatically.
Really?
To get a snappier in and out of cover
Oh, wow.
movement,
I didn't
which
even
is
know that.
really, really cool, because that means that you can hide on the cover, you aim in the right direction behind the cover, you zoom in, you go over the cover, and you fire. And then you release, you go back.
So it's like for things that when you're crouched down, that could be a little bit above your eye level.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's covers that are in the right size will have this feature. It's more or less like the when you jump over, like hurdling over objects. It's the same. Those sizes of covers.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool.
It is very, very cool. It
I
makes
had
the
no
game
idea.
slightly faster.
I agree with you on that one. I played a lot of first-person shooters, in the past that have things called head glitches, and that seems to negate that completely.
Yes.
So that is really, really cool.
Whoops,
Okay.
there's a tank in the subway. That's interesting.
Sometimes you want to take a tank to the subway, and that's understandable. I mean, I do that all the time.
So
It's
do you
just a
need one
Tuesday.
or two tickets?
Right. I think you might need two. Might. I don't know. It could be a little too big. Okay, and then the other cool thing that we saw were the incendiary grenades.
Yes.
That was something that I saw and was like, oh, this is a pleasant surprise. Incendiary grenades. How does that work? Is that anti-infantry, or is it vehicle-based? Or what is the, I guess, thoughts on that?
It's definitely anti-infantry, and it's more or less a small fire that you start that lasts for X amount of seconds.
Oh, that's a cool view.
This is a very interesting
And
view.
now you're going to see how the cloud of dust is going to affect the gunship's view, as
Yep.
you can see right now. Now the gunship can't see anything. This was actually a big point of conversation for a lot of people on social media. They were all talking about like, oh, the AC-130 gunship is going to be so powerful. It's like, well, because of Levolution, it actually balances it out very
Yes.
well. So it's a good strategy.
Yeah, that's
to
the
say
whole
the
idea,
least.
that you want this, pro and con with everything in Battlefield. It's the whole rock, paper, scissors thinking that we're using for more or less everything that we design for the game.
Yeah.
So there should always be a counter for something, and that shouldn't stop us from adding, really powerful things. But there always needs to be a counter for it.
I agree with you on that one. So back to the incendiaries, you had mentioned it was anti-infantry,
Yes.
not necessarily anti-vehicle, like melting through tanks and stuff like that. So that there definitely seems to be pretty interesting in that regard. And the other thing was we had talked about the defibs beforehand. That was something we mentioned. Now in this current build that we're seeing right now, is it something that you rank up to, or is it?
No, it's not in this build.
It's not in this build.
The build we're using here at E3 is very limited, and that's because we wanted people to focus on the core gameplay rather than having to play around too much in the options menus and in the kit setup.
Okay.
Because we want people to spend their time here, playing on the battlefield rather than being in the menus.
Yeah, and
so we
learning how to defib and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we'll remove some things from the build just to make sure that people have the right focus. Oh, that's a very ugly bug in the game.
The clothing hanger, I thought was a good touch. That's cool. So, all right, and then another cool thing that I kind of want to cover as well is vehicle damage.
Yes.
So it said that that you can't blow the tires out, right, or something like
No,
that.
you can't just blow the tires out, because we want to have the vehicle damage being very systematic, so it works the same way on all types of vehicles. But then,
Okay.
of course, on different levels. So you don't shoot the tires per se, but you can still immobilize vehicles and immobilize jeeps and tanks like you could in BF3.
Okay, and one thing that I didn't bring up, and this was why me and Corey are the greatest team in all of gaming. He had mentioned about defibbing enemies. Is that something that you guys are looking into?
Yes, of course. You can actually take down enemies.
What about with
the
the blowtorch? You can do the same thing with the
Yes,
torch?
of course.
Ah, cool. So I can just run up and burn someone,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, you can do that. It takes some time, but you can do it.
Okay, that is awesome. All right. Well, I know that there are a lot of people out there that put that in their montage. You know, they like to go deep in you. And then so another thing that I saw, this was actually something that was brought in Bad Company 2, but you guys are bringing it this time around, the recon balls.
You mean the bolt action?
No, the recon ball, like the sensor, the motion sensor ball.
Yeah, absolutely. We have it's like you said, it's something we tried out in the Bad Company series, which is pretty cool. You more or less throw a ball that detects movement.
Yeah.
So it's a very effective recon toy that you can use to help your team spot enemies in locations.
That's
of course,
very
it
cool.
times out, so it's just effective for X amount of time.
Yeah, and another interesting thing that I saw a lot of players use was the adjustable scope.
Yes.
Right. So that was something that you guys showed in the single-player trailer. That and the canted iron sights as well. Haven't seen that before in other shooters. So this certainly is something new for me, and makes me very happy because when I love iron sights, right? But I also like to get my long-distance game on too. So in regards to putting it in there, why put it in there now? Was it just like something that you thought, you know what, this is a good sight, a good addition for Battlefield at this point in time?
I think it felt very natural because people are playing around a lot with the guns and the scopes, and for some people they actually change their strategies as they're playing the game. And we don't want people to have to kind of die and then go in and mess around with the weapons and then go back in to just change the strategy. So this is a way for people to change the strategy on the fly and modify your weapon slightly as you're playing the game. So you can go from like iron sight to a canted iron sight to an optical in click of a button. So.
Yeah, so it is and that is something that you guys are definitely trying to do, keep things moving.
Yes.
Right, and speaking of keeping things moving, swimming. So now, one of my favorite things you guys put in there, for without a doubt, is the boat with the jet ski. I think that's cool. But you guys also added a couple other things as well. We actually saw it in use, I believe, yesterday when a player was in a gunfight with someone in the water. He ended up diving underwater to avoid gunfire. That was a pretty cool thing to see. So was that like one of the main reasons to do it, because now you can shoot on the water? It's a good defensive tactic. Was that like the plan in that regard?
Since we're adding quite a lot of water to the game, we want infantry combat to not, you don't want to feel like a sitting duck when you actually end up in the water, because you might have to bail ship or you have to swim to get to a point. And in BF3, for instance, it just felt very, very limited. The only thing you can do is hope that no one saw you.
Yeah.
But now you can actually both defend yourself by using sidearm, or you can actually dive bullets by pressing
going
crouch.
underwater.
And you go underwater just quickly and then back up again.
And is there like a length of time that you have to be underwater? Is there like a breathing thing? So there is?
Yeah, so it times out and it's
it'll bring you up
balanced.
automatically.
Yeah, you surface. And that is still under development, since it's something we've never seen before. And to us, that's very important that we actually get feedback from people here at the event on how that works, looking at all the data that we get from all these play hours, and make sure that we get the design perfect.
A few of the people that I spoke to when they were playing, yesterday we had Yaz come on, who was one of the top player, in FPS. He had, said that he really does enjoy the fact that things are keeping, pace. They're moving. Everything's there's a whole bunch of moving parts. And speaking of that regard, was a sprint, right? So now you guys implemented what we've been calling Sprint Swim, which is really, really cool.
Yes.
You also added the ability to drive faster, holding down shift as well. But then the other thing was sprint in general, regular sprint. Now, is there a length of time that you have with the sprint? Is it unlimited? Or is that something you guys are looking into in the future in that regard?
Right now, it's unlimited, but it's based on if you start to. It's more based on if you run in a straight path just to get away, you can sprint unlimited time. And that is both for the fact that it feels, you shouldn't feel punishing sprinting.
Okay.
Because you're sprinting for a good reason, hopefully.
Yeah.
And also, you want the players to be able to get from point A to point B quickly, because they might have to bail their helicopter or something, and they're out in the forest somewhere, so they just need to be able to run fast. But you can't use it to like dodge the enemy, because when you start to turn too much, you can't use 90-degree turns and sprint at the same time. So it's still quite limited. It's just a straightforward moving fast away from enemy or to location A or B.
Yeah, and I did notice, again, going back to the other things we were talking about with sprint, the driving faster. So that is a part of that mechanic as well, which is just like keeping things moving, keeping things going. That was a big mission for DICE this time around, I noticed, right?
Yeah, the whole mobility thing is quite important for the infantry soldier, and also for the vehicles to keep things moving if you want to. But then also, looking at the other end of the spectrum, we have a lot of defensive features. We have more tactical features as well, like Commander is of course in the extreme in that case. But in general, we want to broaden the spectrum of what the game can be, both from a how fast-paced can it be, and also to how slow-paced can it be.
Okay, and right now we're looking at a player, actually, this is one of the top players that is playing right now. I believe he's, if we could bring up the third-person camera real quick and see, yeah, he's right now 22-8, so that's actually a really cool feature, by the way. We'll dive into that a little later, but I do want to ask you about the weapons in the game. So a lot of people have been asking me in regards to the weapons that are available, the CZ, the U100, those guns, the Scout Elite. Are you guys going to have faction-specific weapons, or is it something where you're kind of just like thinking, you know what, we're probably just gonna have more general stuff so that everyone can use?
We're still actually focusing on having faction-specific weapons, because we think it's a part of the fantasy that if you're US, you need to have US gear. If you're Russian, you have Russian gear.
But these are just new weapons that you guys wanted to show off.
Yeah, and then on top of that, we have some weapons that are of course crossovers that we think is they are so unique that you want to be able to access them. At all times.
I noticed that there was a DMR, designated marksman rifle class there that had a specific gun that were for both sides.
Yeah, and DMRs is something that all classes have now, so it's also designed that we're moving those as a core weapon for all classes.
Very well. I know I'm going to be using that. Me personally, I happen to enjoy the long guns. You know what I mean? Certainly is really cool stuff. I mean, Patrick, you have just literally given us a plethora of information, even some new information as well. And right now we're actually seeing another new thing that is included in Battlefield 4: secondary attachments.
Yes.
That was now. I am curious about that. Battlefield before, it was always by gun. The gun always had the attachment in it. Whether you unlocked it or not. Why do it different this time around? So am I under the understanding that you guys are going to be adding a lot more secondaries in the game as well, since we have these attachments?
Yes, we're looking at the secondaries quite a lot. A lot of people like to use the handguns for close combat. It's a very precise and direct weapon, and I think people are using them more than we anticipated. So we wanted to, and in real life, handguns have a lot of gear you can actually attach to them.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool for people to be able to.
I think he just jumped from the AC-130.
Yes.
That was actually pretty funny. Oh man.
Well, that was a strange screen. So again, still in production, right?
Still, it's pre-alpha. So, I guess before we wrap things up here, I have two things to ask you. First and foremost, congratulations on all of the awards that you